Hello, y'all. So this is April Schilling, and I'm excited to be here in the bubble. And we're just a few days away from lacing them up for real. And so it's been exciting to work with this group. They're working really, really hard in the two-a-days we've had for them. And I think you're going to be really excited about the competitive team that we're going to put on the floor this year. I think one thing that is kind of an unknown because we have a young team is where we're going to score from. I think we can score from every position, and I think that's one of the things that's going to really, really tell if we're going to be successful or not is how efficient we are at that. But like I said, we have a lot of unknowns just because we're young and we're kind of the underdog. I think we kind of like that feel. We're excited to get going. Like I said, the players are working extremely hard with very little downtime, and so we're excited to go against someone else here real soon. So,
Thank you, Coach. We'll go to questions now. If you have a question for Coach Schilling, you can drop me a note in the chat or raise your hand, and we'll get to you as soon as possible. We'll start with Christine Hopkins. Christine, are you there?
Yeah, good afternoon, Coach.
hi.
So as someone who's from Indiana, someone who's played with Tamika Catchings, who's got some WNBA experience, what's it like joining this particular staff, and how are you feeling about the experience so far?
Coach, Tamika Catchings, I just heard her in the background. She's in the villa here. Yeah, it's real exciting to be able to lock arms with her again. Again, I was her point guard at Tennessee for a while, and anyone that's around Tamika for a while knows that it's just a great chemistry, great person to be around. That she's leading the charge. It's been fun. This is something that's exciting for me, not only for myself and coaching awesome young ladies, but also I have my two young little girls here who get to watch these confident, strong women who are excellent at their craft day in and day out. And, more is caught than taught. And in this instance, I couldn't be more thankful for the group that's going to be around. They're 5 and 7, so they're kind of soaking everything in.
Thank you, Christine. Ethan Sears. Ethan?
April, I guess two questions. I guess, first of all, what's it like having your kids in the bubble? How are they reacting to everything and kind of adjusting to life in the bubble and all of that?
I didn't really know how they react, but they're pretty easygoing, and they have each other to play with. But it's actually been a very positive experience so far. They have a lot of things they can do. They can ride their bike, their scooters, they can swim, they can kind of do a lot of different things. So we've had a good time so far. Now this is a few weeks in, so you might ask me this in a few months and see if it's the same same response.
Then I guess I'm just curious from practicing so far. I guess what are some areas you see where maybe there's room for improvement or just question marks right now?
I think the question marks are, can we defend? Can we defend big named, players in the league? Can we do some things enough to stop them on one end, and on the other, just can we execute versus tremendous pressure? Because the athletes in this league are pretty amazing, and so can we still dictate and run our stuff against pressure when the lights are on and the game's happening? That's the question mark. Obviously, we haven't had a scrimmage. We haven't had an exhibition game. Haven't had anything except just going against each other day in and day out. So, and that's only been a few days. So there are a lot of question marks, but I don't think we're alone in that. I think the other 11 teams in the bubble also have a lot of question marks because we're playing with different people, different players, different roles this year because of different situations and dynamics. So everyone has, the question marks. It's about responding to what you do have, and don't let what things that you don't have control over dictate your attitude and your effort. And so that's what we've been focusing on in practice.
Thanks, Ethan. Olivia Ray.
Hi, Coach. I want to circle back to having your two girls there in the bubble with you. First, what the conversation was like, a 5 and a 7-year-old, how you explained it to them, and what you told them was going to unfold when you got to Florida.
So I just told them that mommy gets to go to, which is a blessing, and that they get to come along with me. And I knew that at some point they would be involved in practice and possibly could be a ball girl or some ball girls. So they were very fired up about that. That was a huge carrot. And actually yesterday, Tamika and Coach Stanley set up a contract signing. So they signed rookie contracts, and they couldn't be more excited that they were official ball girls, officially part of the team. And they couldn't go to sleep last night. They were so excited. So just this real special memory for my girls. And like I said, for them to be day in, day out around these strong, confident women is just, what mom wouldn't want that? So they get to see it all the time right in front of them.
Can you compare parenting in the bubble compared to parenting as a coach, which is already complicated enough, but what are some of the differences now that you guys are down there?
Well, there's really no downtime whatsoever. Usually you can go and take a drive and go out to a restaurant or go out to eat and kind of get away from it a little bit. And it's not that way here. It's right in front of you all the time. That's what I've known. That's what I sense so far is there's just there's no break in it. There's no time. And we're trying to be creative about creating, being intentional about turning it off and putting the laptop away, stop watching film and be present with them. It's a challenge. But I guess parenting outside, I don't know. Everything is new. And I think it's new for everybody. I'm not special in that. Everyone's trying to figure out a new normal after the pandemic has hit all of everybody so hard. I'm just attempting to do the same.
Were there any concerns in taking them with you to Florida, or what went into that process there? Because it sounds like they're enjoying their time so far.
I did count the cost. I believe, though, in the state of the world, this might be the safest place for them because we're tested every single day, because we wear masks every single day, and everyone is very cognizant of what is going on, and we have doctors on site, we have pediatrician on site, so that made me feel a lot more comfortable and allowed for the decision to be easy for me in just pursuing, coaching again. And, if there were any concerns, I wouldn't be here. I feel like everything is top notch and is done at the best of everyone's abilities. So they're taking the protocols very seriously. And so, I feel comfortable with it.
What's the team's reaction to having them around? Because I'm sure it probably lightens the mood for everyone right now while you guys are working so hard.
Yeah, I think kids do that in general. I think they bring like humanity back into like the seriousness of professional sports and competition. And, the team has been just fantastic with them and very kind and very patient, and I'm thankful. But yeah, they've been fantastic with them. And
then finally, what is this going to do for your daughter's future basketball careers? You said you guys are around the game 24/7, especially more now. So what do the years ahead look like after this?
Yeah, good question. I mean, I don't know if they fall in love with it, great. I'll be their biggest supporter. And if it's something, whatever, whatever else leads to what they're passionate about, I want to be supporting them. Obviously, basketball has been huge in my life and my husband's life. And so they're going to be around it a lot. And they're kind of getting the itch a little bit. They're fine, like how fun it can be. So we'll see. Time will tell. They're 5 and 7, so they have time to figure it out.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. I was on mute there. Leah Secondo, do you have a question for Coach Schilling?
Yes, I do. Coach, first of all, is there anything that you as a group have done away from the game is to kind of alleviate some of the pressures in the bubble as a team bonding session with the group?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think a lot of them got together actually for dinner last night. So they do the little things like that to kind of get away and just hang out together. We actually did a personality assessment that I led that kind of allowed us to understand how each of us are wired a little bit more and how that plays out on the court and off the court. So yeah, we try to do some different things.
How about as far as the group together, as far as conditioning and that aspect? I would imagine being inside the bubble, you have an opportunity to condition probably a little bit more than, say, if you were back in Indiana? Yes.
Once we get out of quarantine, I think that it's been on. We've tried to play into shape, and obviously they took care of business and done workouts on their own, but there's something about just playing up and down and doing that together as a team and being in game shape that we are working ourselves into currently. So I think we're getting there.
Last question, if I may. As far as scrimmaging this week, do you anticipate having the opportunity to go head-to-head with somebody else?
Initially, we were anticipating that, but I think as things developed, everything is fluid all the time. That's what you got to get used to as things change quite a bit. And so I don't believe that we will scrimmage before our first game.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Leah. Thank you, Coach Schilling, again so much for taking the time with us. And I think we'll move into questions with Stephanie and Victoria. Oh, I think we got something here.
I have 2 little girls that want to say hi. Come here. Let's say hi to them.
Hey, Coach, take the background off and maybe you could see it a little bit better because they're kind of flickering there.
Okay, let's see.
There you go. Callie and Ava, can you say hi?
Hi.
Say hi to them. Well, you probably can't see them.
Hey, how was Callie and Ava? How was yesterday whenever you were told you were going to be ball girls for the team?
So good.
So good. What's your favorite part about being a ball girl?
I get to mop the floor for the team.
You get to mop the floor. They get to mop the floor, Victoria. All right.
Thank you, Coach Schilling. Yeah, we can move to questions for Victoria and Stephanie. If anybody has any questions, can raise your hand or send a note in the chat here. Christine, we can start with you.
All right. I've got a few for Victoria and then one for Stephanie. So Victoria, the last few days we've heard from your teammates and coaches about how excited they are for you to be back and that you're going to have a lot to contribute. So what is it like knowing that your team has that confidence in you as you return to the league?
I feel pretty good knowing that they have that confidence in me because it gives me the confidence to play and like support them as I should. And just being back in general with them has been amazing. So just them supporting me and pushing me has boosted my confidence a lot.
And then you joined your team in Israel this winter and were immediately in the starting lineup contributing. So how did that experience perhaps prepare you for rejoining the Fever and facing similar expectations here?
I mean, honestly, I only played like 8 games, and within the 8 games I played, I didn't play long. So it helped me like to get the feel of the game back, but I feel like I still didn't have enough time because of COVID, and COVID just shut everything down. And I was back over here, not like just working out on my own, not really doing like a lot of up and down. So I feel like those games kind of helped me, but sort of kind of did it.
And then finally, what's it like being on the court with Tiara McCowan again?
Oh, it's my teammate. It's great. We had a lot of history at state, and we're trying to make a lot of history here in Indiana. Well, here in the bubble right now, but at Indiana.
And then Stephanie, you said after the first practices that the process right now is all about kind of teaching and learning. So I'm wondering how that learning process is going and how you think the team is adjusting to a new coaching staff.
It's been good thus far. As Coach April said, everything's kind of fluid. I think that everyone's adjusting well. You don't really see that, we have a new coaching staff besides the fact that, the schemes are different. But I mean, the goal is still the same. You want to win a championship and you want to compete day in and day out. And so I think that that's the same. And the only thing that I can say is that we're learning and we're continuing to learn. And then we're just kind of trying to learn the different plays and the different schemes that she has set for us. But other than that, I think that since the goal is the same, you still see the competitive drive and you see the fire there.
All right. Thanks, both of you.
Thanks, Christine. Owen Pence.
Hi, Victoria. This is a two-parter for you. First off, we were talking to Kelsey the other day, and she kind of referred to you as a tone setter on this team with the way you shoot the ball and your confidence. I'm wondering, how do you view your role on this team? Do you view yourself as a tone setter and a leader? I know you're only entering your third year, but.
Well, a tone setter, I mean, I have great energy coming in. Like, I never have like a day where I'm just bad. Like, if I'm making shots, great. If I'm missing, I'm gonna still shoot them until I make them. So I feel like with the tone setting, like, I don't care if I miss shots, basically. So I guess I set the tone that way. I'm gonna keep shooting. And as a leader on this team, I mean, we have our leaders, but I try to be good at what I do and just lead by example, be positive all the time, and just encourage my teammates and just make sure I keep, like, everybody on the same page and happy, I guess.
And then my second question, how much does it feed your confidence playing with a shooter like Kelsey in the backcourt who kind of has comparable range to yourself?
Yeah, whether she know it or not, she bring me confidence as well. If she's knocking down shots, I feel like I got to knock down shots too. Like, if she's in the game and she's knocking down shots, then I come in the game, I feel like I have to continue on what she was doing, so I have to knock down shots as well. So I guess we kind of feed off each other.
Thank you.
Thanks, Owen. Anything else for Victoria or Stephanie?
Leah.
Yeah, how you doing? My question to you is, during your off time, was there, aside from being anxious about when it was all going to start, did you do anything to try to bring maybe something different into your repertoire this year, make it more difficult to defend against you, or just anything? And then on the court and then off the court mentally, did you work on it?
I mean, it started from the injury. I feel like I had to just start all over again because I was out 2 months. Well, not out 2 months. I was out the full 9 months, but the first 2 months I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do any weight bearing. I had to be on crutches and just go to rehab. I went to rehab the next day after surgery. So it was just up to I wouldn't even focus on basketball at that point. Mm-hmm. I was focused on like my body and my knee back to the place it should be. So the first, I'll say 6 months was just mentally, physically, and everything was about my knee. Then after that, as I knew I was going to play overseas, that's when I started thinking more about basketball. Then everything started back rolling in. I'm so like, I got to go back over here. I got to continue to shoot the way I was shooting. I got to continue to run the floor. I got to continue to like help my teammates. So now I feel like with the role I'm in for the team now, coach tells me I need to run, and be ready to shoot. Run and be ready to shoot. But granted, I can do more. I'm going to run, be ready to shoot, and just like make better decisions on the court and just be better for my teammates all around.
Steph, can you elaborate on that as well?
About Tori or in general? What exactly?
No, about you and what you did to kind of prepare yourself for as best you could for this experience coming in. Did you work on anything particular with your game and just to be ready walking into it?
Yeah, for me, I tried to become more versatile. I'm an undersized post player. I was playing the 5, and I'm only 6'3". So you have me and Tierra playing the same position, but clearly you see a difference in our stature. And so I try to do I try to add things to my game that I could just be out a little bit more. That way I could stretch myself and not just kind of be put in a box and just play the 5. And so now coach has me playing the 4 right now, which is different. So trying to just work on remembering both sides of the ball. So not that I'm going completely away from the 5, but the fact that I can try and play both now. So I try to extend my range, which you saw there in France, and try to put the ball on the floor a little bit more, trying to get better defensively. And so I stayed in France for a very long time before coming back. And so I was the last one overseas left, and I was just out there just working out still because it was easier to get gym access there at the time than it was in Indiana. Then when I got back, just hosting pickup sessions. We have a couple of WNBA players that are also in Indiana, and so just hosting different pickup sessions with different players around the state, and also just working on different things. Both of my brothers are pro basketball players as well, and so getting in with them, doing workouts, and trying to lift every single morning and trying to get stronger so that I'm ready for this season.
Excellent. Thank you, ladies.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah. Anything else for Steph or Tori? Ethan, go ahead.
Yeah, Stephanie, I'm just curious about those pickup games you mentioned. I guess who was involved in them and kind of what was the process of organizing that like?
It was nice. So being in Indiana and being a basketball state, everyone knows that we still want to play basketball, but try to stay safe during the time. And so we would pick a few different locations. We had about 3 or 4 involved, and we tried to get the most competitive pickup games in the state that we could. And so initially we had Ryan Howard, which is the #1 collegiate player. She came out and flew out, and so she was with us playing. And then we had Tyesha Harris, who's a rookie there at Dallas. She was playing with us as well. Then Alex Bentley is also from Indiana. So initially when she first came, she was working out. She was going to the factory as well. And just girls that had just graduated from D1 universities or girls that were still playing in D1 universities. And so we try to get people that were at the D1 level or in the pro level, and then overseas players as well, players that had been previously in our training camp. Bria Goss, who was in our training camp just last year, and then Erica McCall, who played with us for the last 3 seasons. And so my sister-in-law as well, who had played for the Fever for 7 years or so. And so different players, and just trying to be as competitive as we could. So pros and as well as top collegiate players.